you're right. Fourth in the world. And Jimmy, let's start with you. Why are you not in China today?
We just recently had a baby. So I felt like it would probably be best if I stayed home. At least for this one, I'm going to Korea, going to Turkey, but it was just easier to stay home. There was another event in the States that was a lot easier to go to as a family, so figured that would be the best option.
Yeah, I would think not spending 15 hours on an airplane with a newborn is probably a good option. Now, Crystal, what part of the country are you in right now?
I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New Hampshire, so almost 2 a.m. here.
As we get ready for some great archery. So look, this is the way this is going to work. There's the three of us, and we're going to show you the world feed itself. So you have the option to check this out. If you're new to World Archery, the main matches are going to be behind. They're on Archery Plus, Archery.tv. You can subscribe to that. We'll have a QR code that'll come up in a second, lower right-hand part of your screen. But these are live pictures coming from Shanghai. And we're going to have the world feed will be kind of in the middle, and we'll be flipping back and forth. We have our own special camera as well. And there's the QR code to the right. And so we're going to be covering this leading up to the event here for a few minutes. And then we'll show you the first match here live on YouTube. And then we'll be transitioning our coverage over to Archery Plus, Archery.tv. You can scan it there and join our coverage there. So, Jimmy, I know that you are watching some of the matches, at least through Iencio, which is our scoring app. And you got your first look at this venue as we're seeing these pictures. So what's your first impression of how this finals venue is set up in Shanghai?
I mean, it looks great. I feel like China always puts on a great finals venue. Sadly, I've never been there. And I was kind of bummed out that I wasn't going this year. But no, they always put together a really good looking finals venue. It looks like they're shooting on some kind of stage. You got the skyscrapers right next to you. I mean, it looks really cool. Looks like something that like extremely professionally done. Looks great.
Yeah. Crystal, what are your thoughts? I mean, look at this venue. It's impressive.
Yeah, it reminds me of the first year I went to China. We shot the finals venue along the river, and it has a similar feel to me, even though it's in the city, versus more the park setting we've seen in the last couple of years.
I mean, archers come from all over the world to shoot this event. I hear the shopping's pretty good. Any comments on that, Crystal?
Let's just say the teams like to spend a lot of time underground.
Is that where it is? Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, what's interesting about China is like over the years we've seen like conditions where people have shot world records there and stuff. I mean, what is it about that location in Shanghai, Crystal, that can do it? Is it like, I don't know, sea level? Obviously, no wind, lighting. Like, what's the magic sauce there?
The funny thing is there's always some wind in China, but yet you get those super high scores. I think part of it is it's typically the first event of the year. People, are ready to go. Their equipment's dialed, and my personal best was shot there, and I think it just mentally people know you're going to shoot a good score there as well. So I think there's just a whole host of factors.
Hmm. Jimmy, is it tearing you up to see your competitors out there shooting, especially at 50 meters while you're sitting here in the woods shooting foam animals? Or are you
It
pretty
is,
comfortable in
yeah.
your environment right now?
No, my heart is still in 50 meters, so I definitely wish I was there. But at least I'm keeping myself busy at home.
How'd you shoot today, dude?
I shot so good, and I shot a 5 on my last target, so kind of
Oh,
ruined the whole day. But we're still in it.
Oh,
Just gotta have a good day today, I guess.
I don't think I talked to you, Crystal. So yesterday was like team rounds here. Wait, no,
hmm
was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday's they have team rounds, right? Where you shoot like
yeah,
10 arrows and it's like six people
yeah.
randomly put together and stuff, and it's one arrow per target. And I ended up shooting 14 down yesterday after 10 targets, 12 of which were the last
Wait, you
three.
shot? You shot
Yeah,
your
yeah,
bow?
yeah, I shot my bow. I got it right here. I got a whole 3D setup, but anyway, same bow, different setup. We'll talk more about that later in the coverage, but here's some behind the scenes stuff. So why don't you guys both tell us, maybe Jimmy first, like what's it like this pre kind of waiting for all these matches to start? Like, where are you guys normally, and what are you guys chatting about? Is there's Alexis Ruiz with her coach, with the USA Archery coach. So what are you guys doing? Where are you?
I mean, there's probably a name for it, but I would just basically call it like the waiting room, the debriefing room. This is where I feel actually most nervous, because you don't have the adrenaline yet of actually being out there and shooting. And I mean, Coach Webster's probably the best there is at keeping things calm, keeping your mind right. So you're going to see like he's talking to Alexis here, and he's probably just talking about school or work or just random stuff, trying to keep her mind off of things, so she's ready to go when she's out there. But that's where I definitely feel more nervous, is just in that room.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's where having the right person with you is so crucial in that room, because if you get somebody who really, amps up your nerves and or frustrates you, we've all had those people where you just want to punch them in the face when you're sitting in there. So, I mean, let's be real, right, Greg?
Yeah, for sure. That's what this is about. This is just us chilling, just having a conversation. The first match we have on deck, by the way, guys, is compound women's semifinals. So, and that's going to be Andrea Becerra from Mexico, against Alexis Ruiz from the United States. And for these matches coming up, it's men's and women's compound individuals. But I think sometimes people focus on the gold medal matches, but in this case, we're going semifinals to decide who's going to go to the gold and who's going to the bronze. Do you like shooting this on the main stage, either one of you or both of you, or do you like generally shooting just the medal matches on the main stage?
So I never got to shoot the semis. We were always just medal matches, and I really wish we would have got to shoot semis, because I think for me, I was such a get in a rhythm shooter, and just walking out there cold for 15 arrows is just really tough.
Yeah, I like it. It kind of you get out there and you have that first match to basically see if you got it that day. I mean, archery is such literally a hit and miss sport that, but then again, you could go out there and shoot great the first match and kind of burn out for the second. It's a lot of time under the cameras, under the lights, and sometimes that can get to people. But no, I like the format a lot. I'm really glad they added it.
Dude, you're not kidding, hit or miss. So we're shooting elimination matches at Arizona Cup here in the States, same discipline, right? 50 meters. And we show up in the morning, you get 3 ends of practice, right? And I go like XX10, 10X10, 10X, right? Right out of the gate.
Oh, you're done.
I was like, oh man, this is going to be such a good day. First arrow, 8 left.
Nope.
That was the end of that. I only shot 2 10s and 15 arrows after, for that match, and got knocked out. I was like, what just happened?
You wasted them all in practice.
That's the bit archery I never get. I don't get it. Confidence, swagger, great. Things breaking, it's holding well, and then
once again, ladies and gentlemen, great to have you with us here at
home.
Riverside Financial Plaza, part of the
anyway, if either one of you can explain
those binoculars.
That problem, I'll give you $1. Crystal, it's like I gotta shoot 6s and 7s in those first 3 ends, and then all of a sudden.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Whenever my practice sucked in a tournament, I actually was happy, because I was like, okay, it's gonna be a good day, because my best days were always when my practice ends just were all over the place.
100%.
Really, Jimmy? You miss sometimes? Miss meaning shoot a 9?
If I'm at Arizona Cup in the practice, I would shoot like a 10.99 or a 9.99, and I'm just like, okay, this is great. I got them out of the way.
Yep.
So stupid. Archery's so finicky, man. So finicky.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check the time here. So I think we have about 5 minutes to go, leading up to this thing. So I figure, if you're watching this, you can comment in the YouTube thing. We're gonna try to YouTube comments. Make sure you click that subscribe button, and make sure you click the bell for notifications. And then, if you want to leave some comments, you have some questions for us, we're going to try to get them up on the screen and answer them during the course of this couple hours we're doing this, and also on the Facebook page as well. So if you get on World Archery's Facebook page and you want to do that, then we're going to try to answer some of your questions. And you can ask the three of us or the experts anything you want. We're going to be talking about equipment and shooting and stuff and styles and pressure and all kinds of fun stuff. So, all right, who do you think will win, Becerra or Ruiz?
They're both
I mean,
shooting
look.
very good right now.
So good. Yeah, that's a tough question. I mean, do you feel sometimes that in these matches when we have 15 arrows to shoot, three each end, that the shooter that comes out of the gate the strongest generally wins these things?
Sometimes. There's a lot of archers out there that I know that when I shoot against them, they're going to start really strong, and you just have to stick with them, and then they're going to let you in. They're going to open the door. And then there's a lot of archers, like when I shoot against Mike, I know he's not going to let me in, so I just got to do whatever I can to shoot a 150.
Yeah, we saw in the mixed teams bronze medal match that the U.S. I think dropped 2 points the first end. And who were they shooting against? Mexico, and they didn't drop a single point. But then eventually, on the second to last arrow, the door was open enough. That and Chris Shaw from the U.S. caught a 10 that I didn't think he was going to catch. It was south, man, and it barely touched the line. So that went from one of those 9 liners, the 9 asterisks up to a 10, and that saved him. And then
They wanted to shoot off, right?
Yeah, Verma shot. Yeah, they went to shoot off, and Verma shot a 9. It was the third arrow, and then Chris was the last one, and he buried it. The first one, it wasn't Verma. Who was it? They weren't shooting against, because right now in the team matches, in the team matches, and then the mixed team matches, so far it's been nothing but India. I mean, what is going on, Jimmy? India has stormed on the scene the last 2 seasons, and they're absolutely shredding.
They have a lot of depth as well. There's people in China at this event that I looked at. I don't even really recognize their name.
They're youth. That's why they're like under 21s. And what they were saying in the interviews was the goal is to get these youth experience. So with Abhishek Verma, they're like, we want 2 youth, younger U21s to go with him to learn the big stage. So in a year or 2, they're going to be the veterans.
That's the world champion from last year isn't even in China, and I'm sure he's still shooting, but they just have these youth are coming, and I mean we saw what the Indian women did last year, the youth shooters. I mean, it was nuts.
All right, so it looks like we got the world feed coming up here maybe in 20 seconds or so, as we get the countdown like you do. Yeah, it's getting close to that. 2 a.m. your time, Crystal, 1 a.m. our time, and game time. So look, if you have a couple computer screens, you could watch the world feed on one and watch us, or just watch, if you're on Archery Plus, or just watch us. And we'll have the commentary from the world feed kind of under what we're talking about. And we'll probably be talking over some of that commentary because, we'll be watching from our own perspective. So if you want to hear the clean feed, you have that option as well. This is the World Cup Watchalong, hosted by Jimmy Lutz and Crystal Govin with your guest Greg White. We're gonna rotate these people around, by the way. So the fact that we have Jimmy here is the fact that Jimmy's got to get up and be at the range shooting in 6.5 hours, and the fact that he's not here, it's a massive privilege for us to have him. And we really thank you, Jimmy and Crystal, on a busy work week and weekend. But I would say probably the chances of us getting Crystal back are pretty high. But Jimmy getting him back is probably slim to none, since you're pretty much going to be at everything from this point moving forward, right?
Hopefully I'll be on in Korea, but on the stage and not on the watch-along. That'd be ideal.
Yeah, if you're not on the stage, then maybe we get you on WhatsApp or whatever, and I'll just hold you up Jimmy, what do you think? You'll be like, I don't like.
I'll be in the crowd.
Yeah.
I can show you everybody else my own perspective from the crowd.
Ooh, looks like the wind's picking up now.
Yeah.
That's gonna make things pretty tricky.
Please welcome the
Yeah, the finals venue always in China.
That's
And I feel
weird
like
though,
the
because
wind.
like earlier today, it was not. It was hardly any wind. I mean, there was just a little breeze. It was going. Look from the flags on the target, was going like left to right.
I haven't shot in China, but I feel like they always put the wind on the archer as well. It just somehow always happens.
Mm.
That's a cool stadium.
What country is the most dominant? Hold on, I gotta move this little thing. Most dominant in compound. Oof, that's kind of a weird question to answer because it's definitely changed over time, right? So Jimmy, what do you think's the most dominant country in compound at the moment?
At the moment, I'd say it's definitely India.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I mean, world champions last year, men and women. There's some countries that have been. I mean, USA has been great in the past. Denmark's always been pretty great. But yeah, right now I think India definitely has it.
Crystal, obviously that's true. What else you see? I mean, I'm seeing Mexico. I think seems to be kind of coming up a little bit. But it's when you were shooting at the peak of when you were shooting in all your travel, Crystal, was it pretty well dominated by the U.S.?
I would say on the men's side for sure, but on the women's side, no. It had already started. You'd started to see more parity across a variety of countries at that point, which I think that's what you're seeing now. You have all these countries that had the work ethic before, but they just didn't have the knowledge, and I think the knowledge has really spread across the board.
Yeah, and I think also some of that has to do with the demand for the equipment. You know, we've seen companies like Hoyt, Matthews starting to really penetrate like the international markets and be able to get equipment to international archers. And you know, you have Shibuya has a lot of presence in it. Like True Ball Excel, all that stuff. So we're off to the races.
Here we go.
All right, so tell us a
The
little bit
flags
about
on
like
the
we're
targets
going
aren't
what?
moving.
No.
Okay, so that wind was probably up high.
Yeah.
So we got Becerra there. We got Alexis Ruiz. They're already both in with 10s. What do they have? 20 seconds
Both
per
low.
arrow, right, to shoot?
Yeah.
Yeah, for when the arrow hits the target for your opponent.
It feels like the shortest amount of time, but also the longest when you're out there.
Really?
Yep.
See, for me, it was
It's
always
way
who I was
more than you
shooting
think.
against. If you're shooting against someone like Linda that would hold forever, it I was just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then you'd shoot against Sarah and quick shot and you'd have zero time.
As a quick shooter, you can kind of use that to your advantage sometimes.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, but Crystal, that's what you're talking about, being a rhythmic shooter. Like you want to be able to shoot in your own rhythm, right?
Yep.
So it's interesting that I noticed from the team rounds to this round two is that I think the practice range is what are you doing, camera? I think the practice range is what the heck? It just has a mind of its own. Hold on, I'll get it right. A little shorter, maybe, than the finals. Like most people I saw were grabbing at least 2 to 3 clicks on their sight to get it back into the middle. And Becerra shot that one a little low, like her whole group's low. Yeah, see, she grabbing her sight there.
Alexis' first arrow was right on the line low, so that checks out. You see that a lot, though. I mean, every little different angle you shoot at can change so much.
Is
The
my camera
light,
following me now?
anything.
Oh, camera's following me now. Look, I'm not in a mansion. I'm at an Airbnb.
It wants to show off that fancy couch.
it's just an Airbnb. It's a nice place.
Greg's
but
gonna sprawl out on it for us.
Right.
Is it comfy at least?
The next one will be in my office at my house, and I'll have a much different look. Yeah, more archery cluttered behind me. All right, so we got 29:30. We got one end of 5 done. Jimmy,
Yeah.
Do you like shooting from the front, or do you like shooting a point behind, just from a pressure standpoint?
If I could be 10 points up, I would like that. But no, it's
It's not.
no, yeah. I mean, I don't mind. Obviously, you have a little less pressure if you're behind by one, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 1 point is a lot in this game, so
Mhm.
much rather be shooting 1 point ahead.
The old hinge release.
She's shot that same release for years.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Ruiz, of course,
The f-
a nurse now, working full time, but gets to practice and living in the Phoenix area.
10,
Dude, that's
Yeah, so
impressive.
you
I mean,
saw
that's a
her
lot
step
of
away
bow
from the
movement.
world stage.
Who, Alexis?
Yeah, she you saw her as number one in the world, and then wasn't at some events, and that was really because she was finishing up her degree. So,
10,
you can hear Webster really loud in the background.
Dude, does he do that to mess with
he's
people
got the
a little
most
bit?
calming voice.
It's just his thing, and I mean, you hear it. It's great.
It works.
When you shoot your bow and you hear that in the background, it's the best feeling ever.
Yep. Yeah.
10, 10, 10, and
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
the perfect
you heard it.
score.
Yeah. By the way,
You could see Alexis say that was so fast right there. She's in a groove.
she's in a
Yep.
groove. Yeah. It was pretty funny. If you watched Team Round, Jimmy, you would have seen it. So, in the shoot off for the bronze with Schaff, he was the last arrow to shoot, and he just needed a 10, and he did that Schaff thing. The release goes off, and he's turned around before the arrow even hit. Goes, "Yep."
Uh-huh.
It was hilarious,
Mhm.
man. It's like,
I
yo,
love
calling
that.
that
You
arrow.
just
Hey,
feel it
bub.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yep.
but trust me, it
You know.
wasn't like he center punched it either, by the way. All right? It wasn't like it was solid Schaff. I know you're listening, Chrissy. Whoa, this is sick.
They're both
Thank you.
shooting
What?
extremely well.
Is that a comment
Mhm.
from Facebook? Thanks.
Oh, that's cool.
Like I said, so our coverage is going to go here on, like, basically for you guys, a little deep into this match, and then eventually here in the next, I don't know, a few minutes or so, if you want to continue watching us, you're going to have to transition on over to Archery Plus, and that's where our coverage will continue. And if you go into Archery Plus and you get on that big screen, you'll see there's like a link with a with a photo of me doing this with a headset on, and you'll be able to continue watching our watch along. We'll give you that information as we roll off. Continue on with this match. What? Oh, you can tweet at World Archery as well. Okay. Or X. I don't know. Go on X and you can send a message. I don't know, because it's not a tweet anymore, is it?
It's still.
But you don't X.
I
You
don't
don't
know.
X somebody. I don't know. It's confusing.
You can tweet on X. How about that?
Hey, there you go. I mean, these targets are impressive for this
Yeah.
quarterfinals match, or semifinal match. Sorry.
They're setting the bar high. There's a longer hold from
Yeah,
Alexis.
that one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. That's Alexis. There you go.
Oh,
Oh, she
nice.
caught that one.
She's breathing a sigh of relief
didn't
on
like
that
it.
one.
No.
No.
Ooh.
That was a better time
That's it.
shot for Alexis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
just
uncharacteristic.
you can see the flag on Becerra's target kind of switched to going left there, and I wonder if that was from that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a better shot by Andrea.
Alexis got to
Yeah.
stop the bleeding here. Needs a 10. Keep it within a point. Send it. There you go.
Definitely some wind though. You can see her hair moving around a little bit.
What an emotional
Mhm.
ending.
Yep.
Moving plates of compound archery.
That's the thing I think
Looks
like
like it's
normal
definitely
like
more.
people that don't shoot, they don't really realize, Jimmy, like you can literally be standing looking at a flag blowing and you feel nothing, or your hair, you know, you can feel all the wind on you, no flag, and then you just think about what's going on in the middle. Like 50 meters, especially recurve tomorrow, like 70 meters,
观众朋友们，刚刚
you'd be
的这一
surprised
组比
how
赛当
different
中
wind
呢，
can
墨
be
西哥队
during
的
that
选
that
手是
distance,
30
right?
环满环的成绩追上了这
Yeah,
个
it's hard to
比
read
Yeah,
on the
with
final
recurve, it's a
stages too.
whole new
1
book.
环的优势领先。那美国队
Yeah, I
的
try to
选
get
手
my
是
club. I'm
在
like, we
前
should get
落
a
后，
flags like every
两
10
名
feet.
选
They're
手
like, what
呢
are you
年
talking
纪也
about?
是
I'm
差
like,
不多
nothing
大，
going
中
on.
国队的选手今年是23岁，美国队选
Yeah,
手是
I
23
think
岁。
Jake Kaminsky had pushed for that at some point for set distances down the field.
Mm. Some tournaments I've shot 50 meters, they'll have one flag in the middle at 25 meters, just off to the side. But you know, just more distraction sometimes. Good looking facility, man. So what's next after this, Jimmy? Going to Korea in a month?
Yeah. I go straight from here to Reading
Oh yeah,
on Sunday.
I'm missing Reading because I'm
then-
going to El Salvador for Pan American Games.
Mm.
So then
And
you
then
go to Reading
to
and then what?
Gator Cup.
The Gator. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the very next weekend. Then you have a weekend off?
Yep, and then
Oh, right.
Korea.
Okay.
All right, now Alexis
You've
is
been
starting.
to Korea
So
before?
I have not.
Yeah, she's starting.
I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
be cool. All right, 2 ends to go, 6 arrows to go. The shooter behind will lead us off.
10环
Big 10. So what you're looking at the top panel right now is like, I don't know. I think the bottom is World Feed. The top panel is us. We get some exclusive shots here, which is nice for our World Cup watch along.
Tie game.
All tied.
Tap.
10环
Yep.
Another long hold on that one. Whew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She runs a lot of weight on that bow.
10环
Wow.
Mhm.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to pick that up.
Why though? I mean, why would you want to run more weight on your bow, or what's the advantage for her?
9.
It
9环
for me, it would just move slower in the wind.
Mm.
Or if you have any nerves and a lot more adrenaline, a heavy bow can feel light at that point.
10.
10环
Well, you could just see how good that shot was. Like if that bow arm doesn't move,
Yeah.
you know, and it's almost like a recurve shot where it's like just kind of right off the front. Generally, it's just a great shot. Well, Alexis got a point back and gave a point back, so 3 to go. Now, keep in mind, this is the semifinals, so the winner of this match is going to go shoot for gold against either Poss or Venom, which is the match coming up, and then the loser of this match is going to go shoot for bronze, right?
Yes.
That's the worst place to be.
How much
Coming off
let
that
off
loss
are
going into the
compound
bronze.
shooters? How much let off are compound shooters using these days on average? Average. Well, what do you guys think? I mean, I would say probably an average weight is probably 16 pounds, maybe 14, 16.
Yeah.
Crystal, what would you shoot when you were? What was your let off generally?
让我们一起为双方运动员
Well-
加油！
I'm confused by I was thinking they meant 65 to 80 when they're saying let off, but if you're talking holding weight,
Oh, percentage wise, you mean,
Then-
as opposed to, yeah.
yeah. So I'm not sure what the question, but I ran a pretty heavy, right about 20.2 pounds. That's where I like to.
My shoulders
What
hurt
about you,
just thinking
Jimmy?
about that.
I know. Kids,
I've always
what
ran
do you run
80%.
normal?
It's 80.
Oh,
Okay.
So I'm
80%
like,
See, I was always
generally.
65.
Are you at
10
like
pound.
60 pounds the max, Jimmy? Or are you normally a couple pounds lighter than that?
59, just to be safe on the scales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So generally for me, like I use 75% mods. So I'm normally holding 14 and a half pounds, basically. Like that's my sweet spot is like, I think 13 and a half to 14 and a half. I know Crystal Rio Wild likes 21 pounds. You know, some people like guys are crazy.
Yeah, for me it was just the first bow I shot was heavier, and then when I tried a bow that was 16 or 17, it felt like it was going all over the place. Couldn't shoot
Yeah,
it.
but Crystal, you're a hinge shooter, are you not? Or are you a thumb shooter?
So I started with a hinge and then switched to a thumb, but I shot my thumb like a hinge.
10、10环，
Oh yeah, okay. So
So
you like to pull through your
I would
shot.
practice with the hinge a lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
10环
All right,
but
so
the way I
2
drew
points down
it
now.
didn't work.
Yeah. So for Becerra, the 10 here, she gets to the gold medal match, and Alexis going to shoot for bronze.
9.
Nope.
Oh, she didn't like
9,
that.
but still enough points. Yeah.
That was
No,
enough.
that's enough. Yeah.
Yeah, 147, 146. Very, very, very respectable scores without question. Jimmy, do you pull through your shot much when you release, or are you
Yeah.
just kind of a gentle? You do pull.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think it's just that I just straight punch the arrow off, which sometimes I do, but more or less, it's actually a fairly
在
clean
最后一个节
execution.
当中呢，上
Um,
坡运动员
Yeah.
依
I
然
have to focus on pulling a
一
lot,
样的挥刷
um,
9环，但是最后呢，墨西哥
but
队是以
and that's when
6
people,
环
whenever they pick up a
胜
thumb
出了这场
or
比赛。
say, "Hey, I tried punching and it didn't
决
work,"
赛当
well,
中，
they're
像
just
美国队运动员呢，在
not pulling, not pushing, not doing the normal things that you have to do with a hinge. And they just try to sit there and float in the back wall and punch it when it goes by the middle. You can't really do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, pulling Crystal, I mean, you must have had a pretty stable bow with all that weight. That's the one thing that's like so strange about archery from a beginner standpoint was like trying to get to the point where you have more weight on the bars and more weight on pulling through it, because it seems like the heavier the bow is, the slower it reacts, and the more you can pull through the shot, the more stable the bow gets when you're aiming.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a point where you get fatigued and everything, but
Yeah, I could never shoot a lot of front weight. I mean, the first bow I shot at Indoor Worlds, it was like 3 ounces on the front and like 18 on the back. I just could not shoot a front heavy bow no matter what I did.
Now, Jimmy, didn't you go from the Matthews TRX to the title? Was that your progress recently?
Yeah.
Was there a lot?
With the title, I had to add a lot.
Yeah, okay. That was the question. Like, how much difference was the stabilizer weights in the setup of the bows?
Yeah, I basically doubled my weight switching the bows.
Now, for the title, though, it comes with like this 8-ounce weight on the bottom, like this brass weight. Did you take that? And I know that like Matthews added that weight because the riser was so light. They were able to machine a lot of material out and make it stronger. So do you take that 8-ounce weight off and then able basically to distribute that through your bars? Is that what you end up doing?
Pretty much, yeah. And there's a lot of people that are shooting with that weight off, but lately I've been seeing a lot more people shooting with it on as well. It's just basically all feel. If you are going straight from a different bow to the title, I mean, the title with the weight on is pretty much the same weight as the other bows, so taking it off would just you'd have to just play with your bars more. So
here comes Jolty Venom and Mary Marita Paz. So Mary Marita Paz been really last couple of years shown some great form. I think won 2 years ago in Vegas, won the World Archery Indoor Championship.
I believe so.
And Jolty Venom is just absolutely on a tear. So again, this is a match. This is our semifinal. So the winner of this match is going to go shoot against Becerra from Mexico for gold, and the loser will go shoot against Alexis Ruiz for bronze. Do we roll right into it, or do we have the? I can't remember if we have the semifinals for the men first. It should just be all
No,
women,
it's
right, Crystal?
all the women, then a medal ceremony,
Yep.
and then the men.
Do you like that better, that idea? Because we were talking about it earlier. You're nice and warm, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Giotti doesn't have a coach.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the box, generally, what do you want out of a coach, Jimmy?
Just somebody to keep me loose and keep my mind in the right spot. I think with Webster, who's just coaching Alexis, I mean, we have one of the best in the game right now at the mental side of things behind us. So he knows what to say always.
Yeah, the biggest thing with the coach is you can't do it right, but you can really screw it up.
Yep.
It is
And you don't,
interesting.
I mean, when you're out, oh, wow.
That was a pretty first arrow.
What an opener! Holy crap!
Shots fired.
Hey, Jimmy, when you're on the line, are you seeing that? Like, are you paying attention to anything your competitor does? Because don't you guys have screens downrange, which you normally don't have, obviously, in qualifying, right?
Right. I mean, you see it. I don't really think it bothers you too much.
Yeah.
At least it's best if you don't let what they do affect you at all. I mean, if they shoot an 8 and you get really excited, you're probably going to shoot an 8 too. So you just got to keep your cool and do your thing out there.
And generally, you just see your own arrows on the screen that's down at your feet.
Yeah.
That's a tight group.
Yeah.
I feel like when my competitor's shooting, I'm basically just looking at the clock. So I can use all of the time I need.
All right, so it looks like we're going to have about one more end of competition on our YouTube feed. So scan that QR code in the right-hand corner and get signed up for Archery Plus on archery.tv. And our coverage will continue here after this end. We're going to end this YouTube feed, and then we'll transition over to Archery Plus exclusively for the rest of this match today. Tomorrow, we'll join you for Recurve Sunday with a couple of different commentators. And we'll do the same thing where we're going to have that YouTube feed for the first bit, a little bit lead up, and then into the first match and a half or so, and then transition over to Archery Plus. But if you want to watch World Cup archery and have even older matches, then Archery Plus is the way to go. So make sure you get over to our Archery Plus, archery.tv, to check it out as we continue to have live coverage here from Shanghai.
Before defeating Oh Yu-hyun in the quarterfinals to make her way to the final four.
And tomorrow we're going to have Crispin Duenas from Canada, and Vanessa Lee is going to be joining us, who you know, of course, from her coverage here on World Archery's variety of things. Good working with Vanessa again. I haven't worked with her in a couple of years. All right, so first end is done and dusted, and it's 30 apiece. If these two keep shooting like that, sometimes you have these semifinals, and it just depends on the brackets, right? Like, you know, the caliber of shooter here, this could be the gold medal match. You know, it just happens that bracket-wise, you get kind of locked into this particular set of people, and this is where you end up.
Wow. They look
Just
really
had one out of
calm and
X-ray.
collected out there.
Yeah, no kidding.
10.
Better or worse to come up against your own teammate in the finals?
I hate it.
10.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I guess it's better in the finals than getting knocked out early or knocking them out early.
Perfect score.
Yeah, I mean, that's That's the cool thing about the way this works, the bracketing system. It just depends on where your scores are against other people, and you could end up in a bracket with or without people from your own team.
10, 10, 10, and that is another perfect score.
Pass looks
The 5Xs.
yeah.
Well, when you're treated to the
We know the women's world record. Scan that QR code if you want to join us. Continue our coverage here on Archery Plus as we're going to cut away from this YouTube feed. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're just joining us on the YouTube, what am I, 107 years old? But there's the QR code. Holy crikey. No, it's not 2 o'clock in the morning where I am at all. So join us there. Scan that QR code. Get signed up for Archery Plus on archery.tv, and our coverage will continue. Joining us, of course, Jimmy Lutz, Crystal Govan here on the World Cup Watchalong. Appreciate you checking us out.